from the campus of Westfield State University. This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
It is Tuesday. Let me put my earphones on. It is Tuesday morning, and it is June 13th, 2023, and counting. My name is Bob Plass. My personal assistant is trying to get the studio in order. Apparently, there was a student party or something in here.
Oh, the TV's not working?
TV's not working.
All right, you guys sit down. I'll come fix it.
No network. And all of the microphones were all over the place. You know, Kelly and Ryan don't have to deal with this, and Ryan's not even on the show, so he doesn't.
That's because they have staff.
Oh, I get it. I see. I got it. Well, at any rate, we're here, and we are pleased to be here. Ricardo, sit down and tell us.
Bob, you wore green today.
Morning.
I know I did. Am I electric? Oh, all right, okay. I am wearing a spearmint-colored overshirt here, and I wondered whether it would, my whole body would...
Spearmint?
Spearmint. Well, what color would you say this is? If you were painting a room.
I don't know.
Is it? Look at it. It makes my eyes look as if I'm children of the damned, right? Children of the corn. My eyes are the color of the shirt, so sort of, and it's just. I saw it in the window, and I just had to have it. Peter, this is here. While you're there, you can take your thing, and you take your coffee and
scrap paper. I already gave him his coffee.
All right, he's got everything.
I gave him the important things. Coffee's the important stuff.
Oh my God, yes. Hey, I've got to make a confession to our fan, Matt Jones. Matt suggested that I get an electric razzle from Dunkin' Donuts. I think, or it's something electric. Have you heard of this?
No.
What?
Yeah, it's an energy drink.
Oh, good Lord, I hate energy drinks. They're just not worth it.
Oh, right. And an energy drink with blueberry and pineapple put together, syrups, and all of a sudden I thought to myself, you mean I'm going to be like...
More energetic?
More energetic than I regularly am? Does this mean my mind is going to go all over the place? And so I was thinking, geez... It was
wait
not.
a minute. Your mind is going to go all over the place. That never happens, Bob. You're very focused. And
oh my! No, yeah. My mind is. It was like being at the Cannabis Connection this morning at Dunkin' Donuts. We were having a talk about how buzzed I would be after the electric How do you know the name of that drink?
No, I
Is
don't.
it-
I've
is
never
it-
even heard of
Is
it.
it the Razzle Electric? It's not.
Is it at Dunkin'?
It's
Is
a
it Dunkin'
Dunkin'.
drink?
Yeah, and I looked, and it
Is it
wasn't.
one of the refreshers or something?
He knew exactly what I was talking about. I don't know, and it looked.
Let me consult my Dunkin' app.
Yeah, it's and it has electric in the title, which is automatically, you're getting. Maybe it's called the Electric Frazzle. Could that be it?
It could be.
But I don't think the advertising people would call it a frazzle, would it? With
Because
a
you'd be
drink
frazzled.
frazzled afterward.
You'd be frazzled.
When was the last time you were frazzled, personal assistant Rick Berry?
About 30 seconds ago.
30 seconds ago, you were frazzled.
It's called Dunkin' Electric Raz Dunkin' Energy Punch.
That's a mouthful.
Does it have an?
There's also the regular Dunkin' Energy Punch.
Yes, but
There's
this
the
is
Tropical Blue Dunkin' Energy Punch.
Yeah.
And there's the Pina Colada Dunkin' Energy Punch.
Oh, okay.
Do you
So,
like-
but
do you like pina coladas?
I do like peanut.
Do you like getting caught in the rain?
You know,
Yeah,
I
Peter,
do
I
like
knew
them.
you. I knew one of you would get where I was going with that one.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Oh wow. You
I get it now.
Yo, maybe you do need that
That's
Dunkin'
Jim.
energy drink.
Yeah, really. What is the description of the energy drink? Does it say, "Get your day started with a"?
That's probably their marketing guys. Yeah, I have no idea about that. I just saw I looked in the menu in my Dunkin' app.
Can I get it in a small?
I'm sure you can. Yeah,
Okay.
it's part of their ice. Bob, do you have an app? You could pre-order our whole thing and
Yeah.
we'll
Well,
just have it waiting for you in the drive-thru.
Yeah, let me tell you about the app and me. Okay, I do have an app. The only thing I know how to work is add more funds to the thing, which makes
You
me.
can link your debit card to it, Bob, and pay out of your debit card.
No, I'm paying out of my American Express card because then I'll get double points. You see, for all the coffee I drink or whatever. You know?
Okay, yeah, I get points too. So
Yeah, it's but that.
occasionally when I'm really poor, I can get a coffee.
Oh, yeah, it's exactly right. I was running around the house. I'm not here with my wallet today because I couldn't find the damn thing. And James was sleeping soundly, and I wanted him to sleep soundly.
Here's the
he's
thing,
not been
Bob.
sleeping soundly, and so yeah.
Taking advice from an old pro who gets up early in the morning all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Always put your stuff on your night table in the same place every night. And before you go to bed, you know it's all there so that when you wake up half asleep in the morning, you can assemble all your items quite quickly.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
I do that.
I tell my
You do
girlfriend
that?
that about
Yeah,
her phone.
exactly,
She
yes.
used to leave her phone everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, put it in the same place
Okay.
every night.
Well, I sort of do that. I take my T-shirt, my jockeys or whatever the heck I'm wearing on that.
You put your
morning.
clothes out.
I put them in another room because that way I don't disturb my sleeping spouse. you
Okay,
see.
gotcha.
So I wake up and then I very quietly go into the other room and then I very clunkily go back into the bedroom and wake him up because I have to take a shower and the shower in the other room is it needs to be adjusted. You'll have to come over, Rick, and
adjust
adjust
it for
my
you.
shower. It's spurting out to the right when it should be squirting at me. Right? Do you get what I'm saying?
good.
It
You need
looks
to
like
clean your shower head.
clean my shower head.
You probably have.
Possibly,
I never heard of that, but I.
Do you have rubber nozzles on your shower head? Sometimes rubber nozzles you can push them with your hand and move them to the way you
Yeah,
want.
no. This is a silver one. It's a
You
metal
probably
one.
have some block shower holes.
Oh God, help us! The whole house is falling apart.
It's really not that complicated, Bob.
No.
No.
And if it's a calcium buildup or something like that, you can go to the Rockies and buy the CLR, calcium, lime, and rust, and you can soak it in it for about 5 minutes.
So where would the calcium be coming from?
From the water.
Yeah.
From the water.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's calcium in water.
had
There's natural nutrients in water or
Well,
natural minerals in water.
Yeah. We could talk about that with the Dr. Kevin Coughlin's.
That's
coming
actually a
on
good
in
topic
second
to
hour.
find out, because a lot of jurisdictions fluoridate their water
Oh,
too. So,
all right. So,
but beyond that, you can get your get
Yes.
your water tested and find out exactly what's in it. Or I think you can inquire with the water department They have to test by law.
Yeah.
And they could tell you what particulates are in the water or what minerals are native
Whether
to this area.
it's drinkable water or not. All right.
Well, it has to be. They can't give it to you without it passing. And I know Councilor Mello's going to take up exception with this, but there's certain criteria they have to meet with the state to deliver you drinking water.
I see. And if it's if it's very close to being unhealthy, they
have to take corrective action by the state, otherwise they get shut down.
Oh wow! And then we don't get
And
any
they
water
test-
at all. I
Well-
mean, nothing. Water would come out, or what would happen?
They would take corrective action before it gets too far out of line.
Mm.
If there was an actual problem where it's unhealthy, the health department and the water department would have to issue a boil order. You've seen that before.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh
if
yeah.
if a pipe breaks somewhere,
Yeah.
the sediment that's been sitting in the pipe for years and years and years sometimes get kicked up, so you get cloudy water.
Yeah.
See, I know all this stuff because I sat through when they had all this PFAS stuff way back in the day.
Yeah.
I had to cover all those meetings for city council when they had all these hearings on PFAS. and
Wow.
all that.
So you listened.
Damn right I did.
Oh wow.
I listened about almost all of the meetings that I've been involved with for the past 3 years, with the COVID stuff. And I learned a lot about the city. There's a lot I know about, like somebody was complaining about the bocce courts beyond the Great River Bridge project.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
they're
They were
bocce.
complaining that it was vandalized and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that was part of the they call him the former city engineer. They're calling him his courts, right? And I'm like, Cressati courts or something like that. I'm like, no, that's not true. That project was done by the state.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those decisions were made by the state, but there were public hearings about all of those decisions being made, and nobody went to them.
Oh.
The only project I've ever seen have some kind of attendance is when they had the public hearings about the Western Avenue project.
Yes. Oh
The
yeah.
neighborhood actually
Bicycle.
showed up.
That's right. I
And guess
remember
what?
that. Yeah.
They influenced that project.
I remember it.
But nobody
yeah.
shows up for all these pre-meetings
Well,
years in
yeah,
advance
yeah.
of these major projects.
Oh, I know that.
And then they complain of how it comes out. I'm like, well, that's your fault.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it is true. So when was the last time bocce was played down on the river?
Oh, I don't think it was ever.
I don't think
it's
ever
ever been played.
So what do you need for to play a bocce? You
probably
a
need the
couple
balls.
of balls.
You need balls.
You need balls.
And I bet I'd be willing to bet. I'd be willing to bet because they probably didn't give us uncompleted courts. I shouldn't say this, but
Were they supplying the balls?
Park
was
and
the
Rec,
state
no.
supplying the balls?
Park and Rec may have some in their stores that
Yeah.
nobody's ever asked for them.
Yeah. Well, and
mostly-
you got to know in order to be able to ask. There should
Where's-
be a sign bocce this way. You know.
Well, hey, you know what? You know what you do?
Yeah.
If you really want to get those courts, have somebody go talk to Rico Daniele over in Springfield, Mom and Rico's, and have him sponsor a bocce tournament there.
I got it. Yeah.
Because Rico Daniele has been a huge proponent of bocce in Springfield.
What the
How do I know that? I worked for Channel 40 and covered it said tournament.
really? So
It's
this
Springfield.
is what I know about bocce. You know anything about bocce?
A little bit.
Okay. You throw the ball and then you try to get a ball as close to the ball that you threw.
Well, there's-
Something like that.
It's like shuffleboard with balls almost. Isn't it?
Not really.
No? Okay.
It's
It means kisses in Italian. Bocce.
bocce.
I think so. Or grandmother in Polish. Oh, that's babci.
It's bocce.
That's bocce.
Babci this way. And everyone's going down the way to see the grandmother. I don't know. Yeah. So, all right. So you're looking at the bocce. So how do you
Yes.
play it, Rick?
How do you play it? So you have a set of balls.
They're not
They
going
are.
to, yeah.
That's what it
Well,
is.
that will
Yes.
limit the
So-
crowd.
You will. What you do is you toss out the Polino, which is the small target ball that comes with the set.
Okay.
The first player then begins play by throwing out a bocce ball, attempting to get as close to the Polano.
The Pilato is the
Polano.
Pirano?
Polano.
Pilano.
Yes.
That's that small ball you threw out in the
Yes.
beginning. All right.
Yeah. So the first person tries to get as close to the ball as possible, the smaller ball as possible, and then the next team or person takes a shot to get theirs closer than the first player. If they succeed, their ball is called inside. The second player continues until they have either gotten a bocce ball inside or they have thrown all their balls. So
How many balls do you get to start with? 3?
I
don't know.
It really doesn't. I forget how many. Well, there's. Let's see. There's 8. There's 8 balls.
8 balls.
So it's up to 8 players. So yeah. So you could have. So you either have, a team of. You either have individuals or you have teams. You can play by. So.
Do you bring your own balls to this event, like
A
the
lot of
bowling ball?
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people have
Like
their own
people
sets.
I was talking to a friend who's become, he's a brilliant software engineer, but
Yeah.
he's become a huge cornholer. He's like performed or competed in professional cornhole tournaments around
Yeah.
the country.
Yeah. That's it's a tilted board with a hole in it.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's
You
not
throw
just
a
the one you
beanbag.
throw in your backyard. These guys are serious about it.
Oh yeah.
They buy like $150 beanbag sets, and the boards are like glass.
Oh. And is it like a dartboard that you are trying to get into a certain
You get in.
you have
the
a
goal is
point
to get into
system?
the hole. Cornhole.
Got it.
Yes.
Got
It
it.
was started as a backyard game. And now
And
it's
I'm sure
become-
there was drinking
Listen,
involved.
Yeah, and these things. It's funny. I was with my brother, and we were at Tap Sports Bar down in at MGM, and we're just having a beer and catching up. And I'm like, we saw on the big screen.
Yeah.
It was this professional league, and it was like a national championship for tag.
Tag.
Are you serious?
And they had this huge obstacle.
What do you mean tag?
They had this.
You mean tag that we played when we were
tag?
kids?
You're it. Like
yeah.
they had this obstacle course and stuff, and the goal was to evade for a certain amount of time. I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was part of the Schwarzenegger games or something. Arnold was sponsoring this all these weird sports.
Tag.
It was professional tag, and it was oddly, it sucked you in.
Oh, I bet. Well, it's not like a football game where they're trying to.
It's like you're running around a playground. Like,
Yeah.
There was like something that resembled monkey bars and trying to avoid the other person.
So
It was
how do you?
weird.
What's the end of the game?
You either
Tag,
tag
you
the
get
person or
tagged.
you avoid them for an amount of time.
Oh, and so
Kinda like
you
bull
want
riding.
you want to be the last person standing.
No, it's one-on-one, and you get for however much you avoid or don't avoid, you get points.
Oh. So this
There's
could
some
go on.
strange stuff
So
out there.
so this could go on for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
No, it's
just watching two people try and catch one
On teams, right? On teams, but I guess there's a certain amount of
Sounds like
time.
I'd love to see this.
There's a certain amount of time you're in the arena of the tag.
Now it's sounding like gladiators.
Well, it kind of is.
Yeah.
These
Wow.
wiry people.
Yeah. What was your game of choice when you were a kid, Rick? I can't.
Jarts.
Jarts? What is
The large
Did you
game
chuck
was
them over the
jarts.
house?
What is it? Jarts?
Jarts?
I don't know.
Lawn darts.
Lawn darts?
No, we didn't have. I was in a poor section.
No, Bob. These were in the 70s.
Yeah, these are back in the
were-
I was.
70s.
That was a poor section too in the 70s for me. But
Lawn darts? Oh, geez.
What-
So
what-
you had 4 lawn darts, and then you had two
hula hoops.
Two hula hoops. They were about, probably 18 inches, maybe 2 feet
Yeah.
in diameter. So they were a certain distance apart, and then you had to throw the darts to get them inside the circle.
hole. It's so like cornholing, only with
with a sharp object.
With a
A
sharp-
semi.
with a
well,
sharp
they were
object.
rounded ends, but if you threw them up high enough, they'd impale anything.
Yeah.
No. That's not. Has that been?
So
It's been outlawed.
outlawed?
Danny
Yeah.
Knappich alleges that he used to throw them over the house and you'd make sure nobody's on the other end and see how far you could throw them over the other house and get him into a circle.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And people could get stabbed by this. You could.
Well,
It's a
you get
possibility.
beamed
yes.
off the head.
How
Well,
did you spell jarts? J-A-R-T.
Jarts.
Yes.
It's
I
basically
was living in another world.
it basically looks like an arrow. It looks like
Yeah,
a
a bow and arrow,
yeah.
big, long.
No,
big-
no,
what?
probably about 12 inches in length,
Yeah.
and with big fins on it, and it in a metal point.
Jeez, this sounds awful. This sounds
why?
Well, it looks like you tell your, go outside, kids, and
Yeah,
see
go
if
ahead
you
here,
can
catch this.
spear your neighbor.
Yeah. Well, you didn't do that. We didn't do stuff like
Well, I
that.
know
It's not
that.
on purpose.
No,
Yeah.
I know, but that's it. That's the answer. On purpose. You didn't do it on purpose.
Well, Bob, but
uh,
here's the thing: like all the fun has been outlawed. I swear.
yeah.
They've been banned in the United States. They're still legal in Europe.
Are they?
Yes. Yes.
I may have to order some.
You might have some down lurking in your basement. So.
No, I don't have any lawn darts. No.
So, yeah.
I'm finding a report from 1970 on it. I'm downloading it now. Give me a minute.
All right, okay. So it actually, and who outlawed it? Was it the Congress?
Probably
Like
some
that-
agency.
Yeah.
Like the
It doesn't know- it doesn't say
like
who.
the FDA or something?
Consumer Product Safety Commission,
It could
probably.
be, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because
They're
they
usually the ones that take all the fun out of everything.
they weren't safe. Well, if you used them the way they were intended to,
They're only
Wow.
safe in the hands of people who are stupid.
yes.
No, you're sending your little kid out there with
It's
a
not a
Right,
kid's
and you're supposed
game.
to instruct them how to use the game.
It's not a kid's game. It
Oh,
wasn't.
this is
no.
not a kid's game.
No, it was
It's
an
made
adult
for
game.
adult, yeah.
Yes, it's an adult game.
Oh, but I just said, what was the game that you played when you were kids? And you said jarts.
Yeah,
We did.
because we
So
were smart.
apparent-
Because we were smarter than I'm gonna say we're smarter than the
Average-
generation.
Smarter than the average bear.
generation
Smarter
we
than
have
the
now.
average bear. According to your parents, who apparently could care less whether you were going out there to spear the neighbor.
Yeah. Oh, come on. It's survival of the fittest. It's the
you're
it's the
right.
buffalo theory.
Oh my God, you're absolutely right. Oh, it's,
You know,
it's
you-
so right.
You know,
So right.
when we were kids, we didn't have to have disclaimers. Don't try this at home. You know,
Yes,
we
I
had,
know.
but
But they're selling it to be played at home.
We had-
Don't try this at home.
we had the Coyote and Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner cartoon, and they were trying to kill each other. There was nothing that there was no disclaimer at the bottom that says do not try this at home. It is these are trained professionals.
Oh, I know it. Every time I see a cartoon, with a little bit of violence, and I wonder about that when somebody, they're jumping off buildings and flying. If you're a little kid and you see, you happen to tune into a superhero, and they jump off a building and fly, somebody's got to say to the kid, you can't try that because it doesn't work. You're
It's
a
not
super-
real.
You're not real. But I can imagine myself as a child.
But the world we're living in,
Yeah.
they could say, well, I identify as a superhero. And how can you?
Oh my God! I don't believe you that you even went there.
I had to.
Oh, for God's sake!
Right, Peter?
All right, check this
No.
out.
No,
I'm
no.
popping the audio for you guys right now.
Oh, look, we've got a woman
and it is
that's
being
dressed.
exempted from a proposed ban by the FDA. The proposed regulations, perhaps to be finalized by the end of the week, would cause this game to be relabeled and sold only in sporting goods stores. The lawn darts manufacturer RB Jarts of South Glen Falls, New York, argued against complaints in insisting that the lawn darts are not intended for young children. 2 deaths and a couple of other injuries to children are listed as a result of the game. A 4-year-old North Dakota child was killed while playing in a sandbox next to the lawn dart game.
Oh, my
A
God.
9-year-old Minnesota girl was reportedly killed at a picnic. The FDA list also said 1 child lost an eye and another required brain surgery after being hit in the skull. The ban of this toy only to sporting goods stores would presumably help make the point that it is not safe for children. The FDA proposed ban is part of the regulations being developed under the authority of the Toy Protection Act of 1969. In the proposed ban, 3 other toys may be banned outright. They
Oh, God.
include some balloon noisemakers, a cap gun, and a musical toy rattle. One viewer told me this morning that the rattle in question is one made in Japan, and it's made of cardboard. The rattle, she says, has 8 or 10 metal prongs inside the rattle which make it chime, but which become easily exposed when the cardboard is crushed. By banning these toys, the FDA could also require manufacturers to repurchase the toys from the consumer and the retailer. But at this point, the FDA spokesman in Washington has not said whether the FDA will make use of this power or not. That's Contact 8. This is Teal Salon.
Oh, God. She read the whole thing. Honest to God. She had this clipboard in front of her. Gone are those days. There was something kind of humorous about that. It was. I didn't want to
Shows
laugh.
the overreach of government has got even worse than it used to be, because that used to be the FDA did all that. Now there's another agency with more bureaucracy, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, that does that.
Yes.
Oh.
That was the FDA back then?
That's
Jeez.
what they said.
Was I the only one that was kind of annoyed by the background being off at an angle?
Plain white.
No,
Well,
did
I
you
was
notice
kind
it
of.
it wasn't straight.
I was
camera?
annoyed that she was even talking.
I like the cutaway of that one little dart flying in there.
Yes.
Like in about 2 seconds, half a mile an hour.
Oh my gosh! You
Show
gotta-
people playing the game,
Oh God!
not just throwing it at the ground.
Well, no.
biased.
Well, she got in the hole. I got to say, she got 2 or 3 in the
She
hole.
was standing over it, probably.
Oh, well,
Yeah, she was.
All right.
They're not playing the game.
All right.
They went the extra mile for that story. I
This
tell you.
just sounds so ludicrous. At any rate,
And
hey.
we all survived it.
Oh yeah. Speaking of games, why don't we play? Today is speaking of toys and everything. Today is Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy Day. Can you?
They haven't been banned as gender neutral yet.
No. Will you get off of that?
I'm saying they went after Mr. Potato Head.
No, please.
They went
please.
after Mr. Potato Head.
All right. I don't care whether it's whatever.
Okay,
but
I'm just telling you.
I
We want to make sure we're not a foul of somebody.
I agree, but by trying to make yourself not a foul, you're offending a lot of a segment of the population here. I'm sitting
exactly.
Right at this table.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
I celebrate absurdity by being absurd.
I would want to wrestle you in a field someplace. I might even want to borrow that jar set, if that's the real way you feel. I think that at any rate, maybe we
Got
ought
them all flustered.
Yes.
Oh yeah, maybe we ought to play the song that I really wanted to play was the True Colors song by Cyndi Lauper, and then save Raggedy Andy for later.
Okay.
So let's, in honor to clean our palates, and in celebration of Flag Day, and we have flags flying all over the city now, and that's really wonderful. The Pride flag flies proudly down at City Hall, as well as the American flag, and the other flags that are up celebrating our community. So today is the Flag Day. I remember at Glenwood School going. It was a summer day, and we went out to the front of the school and stood on the steps where the flag was and sang "America the Beautiful" or something, and then they raised the flag.
Do you think they're going to do that today?
I don't know whether they do that any longer. Do you
Well, it's
remember? Do you have that
June,
memory
June
from
15th
kids?
is the
No, it's
it's
June
Flag Day.
14th.
June 14th.
Yeah,
Tomorrow?
yeah.
So tomorrow's Flag Day.
Yeah, tomorrow's Flag Day.
Kelly Pease will be standing out by the Great River Bridges to doing Flag Day, taking over what Senator Harmison used to do.
So they do some kind of flag raising
He does.
ceremony.
It's not a
The flag waving.
flag
flag waving standout.
waving. Okay, all
Coming
right.
across the Great River Bridge.
Right. The best song about flags actually is True Colors, and because it celebrates everyone. While and the idea of being your own authentic self. True Colors by Cyndi Lauper. So why don't we play that, and then we'll play the ridiculous Raggedy Andy later.
The sad eyes. Don't be discouraged, though I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness so inside you make you feel so small. But I see your true colors shine let them show your true colors. Your true colors are beautiful like a rainbow. Show me a smile then, and don't be unhappy. Can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, you call me up because you know I'll be there, and I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. Your true colors are beautiful like a rainbow. If this world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, you call me up because you know I'll be there, and I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. Your true colors. Your true colors keep shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donuts shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for Arts Beat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Well, we're right having a conversation here, of course. There's a radio show going on around here. This is Wow, it's Tuesday. It's
Yes.
Bob Plass. I'm with my personal assistant, co-host Rick Berry, and Peter Coles is in the middle square there. It's June
13th.
13th. It's
Yes.
not the 14th. Did I
No.
say the 14th earlier? I might have. I don't know.
Yeah, because the Flag Day's tomorrow.
Flag Day is tomorrow. Flag Day is tomorrow.
By the way, our interesting weather patterns, Bob.
Oh gosh.
Planet Earth loves keeping things interesting. This is from the Cheddar news outlet or whatever. Last week, New York was bathed in apocalyptic orange haze from Canadian wildfires.
Oh God, it was awful.
Days later, snowfall on New Hampshire's Mount Washington reached 8.5 inches through the first 10 days of June, making it the snowiest such months in 91 years of record keeping.
Oh my God! And then there was a hot day there was like a 90-degree day too. I think there wasn't
Well,
there?
The Friday.
I was going to show you a Mount Washington webcam, but they're all fogged in right now.
Oh
Friday the 2nd. Friday the 2nd was in the 90s.
yeah. Did you at all get affected by the air at all?
I did a little bit.
I did
yes.
too. Yeah.
I did.
And I thought to myself, holy mother, you know when there was something I used to teach in my social work classes about that butterfly effect. It's now kind of trite. If a butterfly flaps its wings
In Africa,
Yeah.
it affects
like a hurricane,
Yes.
and it creates a hurricane in the west or whatever.
Yeah.
That same kind of thing like applies. That we have to be concerned about the wildfire. We have to be concerned about wildfires, but then we have to be concerned in another way that they might affect us or whatever. Very interesting how we're all connected that way.
They were showing different things, and they were, this isn't the first time that this has happened.
Yeah. No.
It's happened.
Wasn't it Mount St. Helens? Do you remember that? When
Yeah.
volcano and the ash was spewing forth across the world or something?
Well, yeah, this was like a mini preview of what would happen if there was a major volcano eruption or a complete nuclear detonation that would cause a nuclear winter. Either one of those
my
scenarios.
God. Holy mother.
So think about this. All the nuclear weapons that we have, right,
Yeah.
would probably cause that for several months. If we had a supervolcano explosion at Yellowstone, which that's a supervolcano,
Yes.
it would cause it for years. The same effect.
So we would then have to go
Basically
into...
block out the sun.
Oh, God. Oh, my
Well, it's not the first time that we've had the smoke from the wildfires either.
No,
From
but
Canada. No,
Well,
no, it's happened.
But I
it's
don't
happened
remember
before.
Canadian wildfires. It's
Yeah.
got to be decades ago or something. When was the last time?
One of them was they were showing the pictures of the San Francisco Bridge being covered in the smoke from the wildfires from Canada, and then I want to say it was probably a few years ago.
Yeah, I think. It's not within my memory. It's of
Canadian
living
wildfires? Yeah, we've had.
Yeah.
They haven't been this bad before.
Here. Yeah,
They're
we had
worse now than they
California
were.
fires.
Yeah,
Well,
Would
it was
they
a-
be wildflowers?
Kind of like one of the perfect setup type deals.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it was because they were talking about that how the jet stream there was a low pressure system that was pushing down from Canada that caused a trough to pull all this smoke right down. Through the New York and New England areas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's a terrible thing when we have to. Kids growing up. How do you teach them not to fear? That's a good question.
You tell them that life will go on. That you have to. The best way to do it is to say, you know what, you can overcome these things. You can't live. You can't just stay in your house and live in fear of everything.
No, I know, but how do you teach somebody
You
to
show confidence in the face of the actual event.
listen to you? Confident. Can I quote you, Peter? That's a brilliant statement.
That's how I raised my kid.
All right, wait a minute. Confidence in the what?
In the face of adversity.
right.
Confidence in the face of adversity.
So I was smart about. So if I was raising a kid right now with the Canadian wildfires,
Yeah.
to take that into example,
right.
if I had a breathing issue, I would say don't go out for a period of time.
But
If
then,
I was a normal, normally breathing or didn't have respiratory issues, whatever,
right.
I would say, okay, you can go out for a short period of time. You can go play your Little League game, but don't spend all day outside.
Right.
But you have to be smart about things. You can't just go, I'm not going to ever go out again.
And
What purpose does that serve?
You educate them. Don't fill them with fear. Unfortunately,
Yeah, it's sort of like
Unfortunately,
education.
There's not a child rapist around every corner, like the media would have you believe.
right. The media, with this whole thing with the media, with telling you the air quality was bad, and they were telling you don't go outside, you're going to die. That's basically what they were saying.
And some people
you just
believe
listen to it.
that.
It's like,
I know it.
wait, that's fear mongering.
Yeah.
It's putting fear in people.
Well, it depends on how much fear you put into them. There's a commercial, honest to God. This is the commercial that I want to turn off every time. And I feel really badly, but it's the commercial with the woman who has smoked and had a jaw removed.
Yes.
Remember this?
Yes, I remember that commercial. That was
It's still on. There's a new one. And the woman is saying this is what will happen if you smoke or whatever. Basically, that's the message, and it's such a strong message. But for us who don't smoke, it just oh my God, it's like those dogs that when you have Melissa Etheridge singing that angel song or whatever. What is that?
The one for the MSPCA?
Yeah. When you have these dogs, oh my God, it rips my heart. I just turn the damn thing off. I don't want to watch it. Once you've seen it, I don't need to know it. But I mean, like that is that.
Well, that's a different
commercial
type
effect. Are those kind of commercials effective?
The MSPCA one is because everybody feels bad for the dogs and the but the others I think are, I don't know, they're again fear mongering.
Yeah, well, my father or somebody in my family might have said, my brother would have said this. Well, she made her bed, now lie in it. She smoked all those years, now lie in it. What's she doing complaining to us? Yeah. And I'm thinking, well, she's using her life and she's got her courage enough to stand there and say, this is who I am after smoking all of these years. You better not smoke. That would immediately want me to put my cigarette down for the day and maybe for a week or maybe for a month. But it's hard. It's advertise. The measure of how much you make somebody aware, but I guess that awareness has to be done, as you say, Rick. With you got to educate and inform.
Right, educate and inform, and don't instill fear.
And make your child as safe as possible. Safety. I think you don't grow in a world of. I know as a gay person growing in a world of fear, getting older in a world of fear, where if I even dare to admit the unthinkable, that my whole life was spent that kind of way when I was a child, and I think it's better today for that, but the fear mongering, it doesn't work as a politician either, does it? It
does. They keep us in line all the time.
Oh yeah.
I think a better message is optimism, and how do we solve problems rather than these are the problems that we have to be afraid of. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Should. So if we unite as a people and as Americans, we could solve just about any problem we wanted to.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
The whole point of politicians, so they can retain the power and not the power of the people, is for them to make you scared and divided so that they can control you. And that's what it boils
that's the
down to.
second brilliant thing that you said today.
That's all of them.
That's
all he's got.
He's doing very well today, considering. I'm going to forget that other comment about the absurdity or earlier.
Sometimes you have to.
No.
You have
Leave it
to,
at that. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to illustrate absurdity by being absurd.
Yes, yeah. But when the absurdity is not an absurdity, that's when you should not make it absurd.
If you take something to its logical conclusion, why is it not? Why is it an absurdity?
We're not going to. We're talking without specifics, and I don't want to get into.
But that's what I'm saying.
I don't.
I made it specific, and you got upset.
Yes, I did. Yes, yeah. But maybe this is time for Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Ann. Did you did you have a doll when you grew? Speaking of were dolls allowed in your house? You had a sister, right?
I had two sisters.
Two sisters, and did they play with dolls?
Yeah.
Was Raggedy Andy a doll for adults? I mean, not adults. Young.
Well, it could be depending on what story you go to.
Oh gosh, it's a family show, man. Hey, no, but I wondered: is it Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy? Andy was created for boys, I guess.
Was it?
I don't know. And was Ken created for boys as well? So Barbie needed a boy. Oh, G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe was a doll.
Yes.
But there was a whole cast of characters too.
And there were a whole cast. So G.I. Joe had a platoon or something? See, I
had a squad.
Oh, I didn't realize this. Okay, all right. But I don't remember a lot of young boys that I knew playing with G.I. Joes. Of course, that I don't think we had G.I. Joes in the 40s. We had real G.I. Joes.
I don't think in the 70s we really had them either. They were.
Yeah. Do they still make a G.I. Joe?
Of course they do. Yeah.
They do?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's still marketed, yeah.
What does G.I. stand for? This is a good question. I think I had it on a quiz once recently. General intern, no, and what do you call it? INT something. Ground. Peter, you want to help here?
What are you talking about?
GI. Yeah. What the word G? Where's the words GI are abbreviations for something?
They're used to describe the soldiers of the United States Army and airmen of the United States Air Force.
Right, but what is GI? Why didn't they say MU?
Originally, it stood for galvanized iron.
Galvanized iron. And what does that?
A government issue or general issue. Or ground infantry, it stood for also.
Probably ground infantry, yeah.
Well, it says it stood for galvanized iron, which was primarily the material used to make military items.
So they were equating the men on the field with an object.
Yeah. GI took on multiple meetings, including government issue, general issue.
That sounds awful.
Ground infantry.
How'd you like to be a government issue?
How do you know I'm not?
Was your father in the service?
Yes, he was.
Well, then you're a government issue. Holy mother! Let's see. Okay, so Mandy Patinkin's. I knew there was a song about Raggedy Andy out there, but I didn't know there was an adult song that we could listen to. And I love this. It's Mandy Patinkin in one of his early albums. Wrote this song, and it's just so charming. You got to hear this. Mandy Patinkin singing Raggedy Ann. It's a song that he wrote, and it's so catchy.
And a one and a two and going for me gobbly gobble lobble lobbly gumbo picky lab oh no yes going for me gobbly gobble lobble lobbly gumbo picky lab oh no yes. She's my Raggedy Ann, now you know what I mean. Her eyes are made out of tangerine, and her hair is bright green. Oops, I mean red, I mean my Raggedy Ann, now you know what I mean. Her eyes are made out of tangerine, and her lips are made out of cellophane. Only for me she goes gobbly gobble lobble lobbly gumbo. Bicky lab oh no yes going for me gobbly gobble lobble lobbly gumbo Bicky lab oh no yes he's your Raggedy Andy, it's time to come clean. A fingerless man, an anatomic dream in his hair is bright green. Whoops, I mean red, I mean my Raggedy Andy, you know what I mean. My pudgy little friend with those black-eyed beans in his legs. I stride like a candy cane. Only for me she goes gobbly gobble lobble lobbly gumbo. Bicky lab oh no yes going for me gobbly gobble lobble lobbly gumbo. Bicky lab oh no yes.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at Rockies.com.
Join us every Thursday morning
from 6 until at least 7:30.
Check out the Bobby G and Company Show
right here on WSKB 89.5
Community Radio
89.5. WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. It's the Westfield on Weekends Tuesday show with me, Bob Plass. I am in my spearmint outfit here, whatever it is, and that is glowing on the on screens across Southwick, Agawam. Oh, there we are in the green screen, without the green screen. See it? I just sort of, I was wondering, I mean, like, how green does it, how green can't I be?
You were starting to key out, so I increased I compensated for it and made you white.
Oh, okay. All right, which gives me
I don't want to see Park Square through you.
Green tint.
Watch. Let me,
give me
1 second.
Watch it,
I
everybody.
can adjust.
Here, I'm going to have hands that are floating here. Wait a minute. Okay. If you're watching on television, my body, holy mother. Oh, my God. It looks like, what does that look like to you?
If I turn the camera down where it should be,
yeah,
you get even.
Oh,
that's where the camera should be.
My God. It's the headless horseman and
no, you have
companion.
a head. You just don't have a body.
I just don't have the floating head.
Yes.
They're floating. Oh, man. Honestly, well, that would make a good show, though, Peter. A floating head.
No, it really wouldn't.
No, it really wouldn't. No. Hey, we've been
unless we were like doing like a B-movie theater show or something.
Oh yeah. Hey, if you're listening and you're looking for something to do tomorrow night, very interesting. The Westfield Pride Committee is having a panel discussion on the various stages of a person's life, from being young to being old, and the resources available that those for those who identify as LGBTQIA+. And
you sure got them all?
Yeah, I think I got them. That plus solves everything, I think.
In Canada, there's like 2S now or something.
Oh no, I think there's a 2S in there.
Two-Spirit or something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Two-Spirit is was one of the oldest forms of in Native American Indian tribes and in tribes across the world. The person who was able to be a two-spirit has a feminine and a masculine together, and they are oftentimes the healers in the community. And very interesting. There on my in the newspaper every day there is an honoree for the day. Today's we're honoring Sally Ride, I think, so you can read a little thing about Sally Ride. But I think next week or sometime this week.
There was a song about her, right?
Sally Ride? Well, Ride Sally. What?
It wasn't about Sally Ride.
Oh, my God.
It took him a minute to get that,
What is that? What was the name?
Sally
Ride. What was the name of that song? But she did take a ride. She was one of the first astronauts, the first female astronaut, actually, or one of the first. I think there are two they're co-firsts or whatever. But she's an interesting.
Actually, the first female astronaut was a Russian.
Yeah, I think that she shares that. Well, maybe it's first female U.S. astronaut.
Correct.
Yeah. What was I going to tell you? That if you go on westfieldpride.com, you can read all about the events. And this event happens to take place at Westfield Creative Arts downtown, where our show, the gallery show of Marie Crane Yvonne, we had a great session this week.
Did you see her interview that Auerbach did?
No, did she do it? She's a great interviewee.
She did an interview with Auerbach and Guy McLean.
Well, we did a thing on creativity on Sunday afternoon, and there were about 20 people. And we created a piece of art that eventually will be in the window for everybody to see. All of the community working together, or all of this group of 20 people, were creating something that was really kind of special. We learned a lot from her. But her exhibit has been extended through July, or to the end of July. And that's because of the demand to see this lovely woman's art. And it's both at the Athenaeum and down at 105 Elm Street, the Westfield Creative Arts Center. And so to see all of the happenings, from classes to future things, to read about Pumpkin Fest, etc., Pumpkin Fest updates, etc., to become a sponsor, etc., go to westfieldonweekends.com. All righty, now let's talk about Brewfest.
Brewfest.
You had a Brewfest a couple of weeks back.
Yes.
How was it?
A week ago this past Saturday. Oh, it was phenomenal.
I could not believe, I bought a ticket.
Yeah.
And I went inside, and then I went looking for you because we had to be in Lenox for a certain time, and so James and Peter didn't want to go in because I think they were afraid that once they started on the beer, it would never end. We would never get to Lenox. So I said I had to do something. So I bought a $50 admission ticket. Got one of those lovely little glasses that. Who was providing them?
Tasting glasses?
Yeah, it was Bright Ideas, a new brewery coming into Westfield.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, it was a sweet little glass I'm going to use.
Glass, yeah.
Very nice. And I got my green. I got
wristband.
My wristband.
Yeah.
And I said to, I think I'll give it to somebody. And then I thought to myself, no, I'm not giving it to anybody waiting in line here. They're all paying money that's going to go to the wonderful children's museum.
Yeah. We had a wonderful day. We had a very large crowd, but it didn't seem it. It was a great day. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. Mm-hmm. People were milling about, listening to the bands.
There was a
food, enjoying the 30+ breweries that we had there.
Yeah.
We had 3 bands playing all day long. We had Whiskey Traveler, Johnny Maiko and the C5s and Access.
Mm-hmm.
They all played phenomenally.
Right.
They really did.
Yeah. And it went on only so you got, it ended in the middle of the late afternoon.
At 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock, so people could go off to eat and whatever. Yep. And
there were,
do you know how much money you made for the museum?
We don't have those total numbers yet. We sold over... with gate admissions, the people the same day, probably about 650 tickets.
Oh, wow. So 650.
I know we were close to 600 when I was talking to you that day.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
So it was online itself on Eventbrite. We did 590 tickets.
Wow. So people bought their tickets ahead because they wanted to be able to get into that line or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I applaud all of you, and it's such a great cause. You can go.
And it's a fun event.
Yeah, and go online to Amelia Park Children's
AmeliaParkChildren'sMuseum.org and check us out. It's a great facility we have here in town.
Yeah,
kind of a little hidden gem.
It's a really great hidden gem,
especially on a day like today. You got the little ones, driving you up a wall because it's raining outside and they can't go out. Well, take them down to the museum, let them play, let them run around. And,
great place for grandparents, incidentally. Yeah.
Whether
your grandparents can hang out. All righty. Hey, who's arrived is our great Dr. Kevin Coughlin from Bay State. From Ascent Dental. Let me get the right company.
You almost got the stink eye.
Yeah. He just walked out the door. Cancel his sponsorship. Oh my God! Hey, everybody! George Winston, the great new age pianist, died this week, and I love to listen to his music because it really creates a mood. And since it's cloudy today, our Wisconsin music director Chris selected "Cloudy This Morning" by George Winston. So listen to this great piano. Rest in peace, George Winston, and bring on my great doctor friend from Ascent Dental, Kevin Coughlin.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for Arts Beat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Hey, Bob, we're back.
Hello, everyone. I'm getting money out of the doctor.
Breaking news, Bob. Treat Williams died, passed away as a result of a motorcycle accident in Vermont.
Oh, my God.
Who's
71.
Who's
Treat,
Oh, my
Treat
God.
Williams.
The actor, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the actor. He was on something tree lane or something. Also was in Hair.
Blue Bloods,
the
Everwood.
movie Hair, and it was a dancer, singer as well on Broadway. Did a lot with during the 60s and 70s on Broadway, and then went to Hollywood. I'm so
It says
sorry.
while
to hit
local
him.
authorities have not yet named Williams, Jacob Gribble, fire chief from Dorset, Vermont, told people the crash happened on Monday around 5 p.m. on Route 30 around Long Trail Auto near Dorset, and his family has said that he's passed away.
Oh, so sad. Young and vital and such a good.
He was born
good
in
actor.
Royalton, Connecticut. Rowayton, Connecticut.
Yeah. Royalton's down by the shore, didn't he?
I don't know, but I'm very familiar with Dorset. And that Route
Dorset
30.
Theater,
Yeah.
the festival up there. Yeah, he might have been involved in that. So welcome, Doctor.
Hey, thanks for having me
yeah,
again. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, you're sitting between us.
Yes, and I feel very comfortable.
I was playing that George Winston, and I was saying to you, we were talking on the break, that you were saying how you love George Winston music, and I was saying it is perfect music to calm somebody down who's in your chair.
Right. Not that they need that, okay? Okay, because of this butter touch. Right?
Your butter
this
touch.
great team that we have at Ascent Dental Care.
And wonderful selection of pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
One of my best friends, it's like interviewing one of my best friends in the world, and you forget the guy's name.
Yes.
Bob, you do that every day.
I do.
Hey.
It's terrible.
That's part of your charm.
I take no offense, but I will be leaving this show early.
So the George Winston, you said you played at the spa. Tell us about the spa. What is
You
that?
mean Ascent Laser Aesthetics?
Yes.
.com.
In
Is that
my
aesthetics?
consulting business?
Yes. Is that
Ascent Dental
Dental.
Solutions?
Solution.
Okay, enough of that.
Wait a minute. Aesthetics.
I'm
How do you spell
ashamed of
aesthetics?
myself.
A-E-S?
You can do it with an E or an A.
A
Either
and
way
E.
is acceptable.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I do an A just because. Look,
Well, you got to get the full.
I want to be first.
Oh,
yes,
yeah. Okay.
yes. I always wanted to be
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
So you had questions about fluoride. You had concerns about fluoride.
We had concerns about things in the water.
Oh my God! This opens up a tremendous can of worms.
Oh, you're
It
kidding.
does, and thank God I have Rick and Pete here as support because basically, it's public health policies, and if you think about public health, it doesn't say individual health. Its goal is to treat the group rather than the individual.
Mm-hmm.
And we certainly just went through 2.5 to 3 years of hell with COVID.
Right.
But most dentists that I'm aware of will promote fluoride. They promote fluoride. And for our listeners, I think the first thing to avoid confusion is there's two types of fluoride.
Right. First, what is fluoride?
I don't want to discuss that. No. But fluoride is a natural chemical. It comes from fluorine. It's found in water. It's found in rocks. It's found in animals. It's ubiquitous in our environment. But we realize that a specific dose of fluoride can reduce dental disease, in particular dental caries or cavities.
But what I think the public is sometimes confused about is the two types of fluoride. One fluoride is ingestible. You ingest it, it gets transferred throughout your entire body, and in your entire body would be the teeth. The other type of fluoride is topical. It is non-ingested, and it sits on the tops of teeth to reduce the chances of decay in cavities. And I think the reason you brought it up is because there's been discussion and speculation is it good to incorporate this chemical, this element, in everybody's water throughout the entire United States of America? And that's a question that I believe, depending on which side of the expert lands on, you'll have experts say that it's probably not a good idea, and you'll have others that say it is a good idea. Is a mask effective against COVID? Is a mask not effective? What type of mask? And I saw a tremendous analogy with what we went through with COVID and fluoride. First, it's dose-related, like almost all medications. If you took too much water, it'd probably kill you. All right? So the dosages will range depending on age, but for the listeners, make sure you understand the difference between the ingestible or systemic fluoride, which is put in your vitamins, put in pills that you ingest either with an eyedropper, chew it, break it up, et cetera, and those topical fluorides that are in your toothpaste.
Okay, so I don't remember ever having a doctor, dentist, prescribe a tablet for me. Do you do that?
Yes, we do. The issue is that in many of the municipalities, the fluoride has already been incorporated into the water system.
Yeah.
So if the fluoride is already incorporated into the Westfield system, then you wouldn't want to prescribe fluoride on top of the fluoride that someone's ingesting with their water, because they would have too much fluoride, and that's where the damage comes in.
And what happens to the teeth with too much fluoride?
Generally, if it's just a minor overdose of fluoride over time, there'll just be discoloration. It will not affect the tooth, but the discoloration can be aesthetically very displeasing.
Oh, ooh.
If
we don't want that.
Right.
No one wants a
If it gets
displeasing sound.
excessive, meaning that most people are drinking water on a daily basis. It's in their coffee, it's in their tea, it's in all kinds of products. That accumulation of fluoride can be detrimental to the skeletal bones, to the teeth, to the point where they break, they crack, they just dissolve away. It's like any other product. It's dose related. Without boring people, generally in the United States, they've changed the maximum dose that no one should have over 4 parts per million. And the World Health Organization says it's 1.2 parts to 1.7 parts per million. So you got these two expert groups.
Wow. And
they don't even agree on what the maximum dose is.
And they're far afield there.
Right. What I look at it is, and I say to myself, dental decay is not life-threatening. Dental decay is 100% preventable. If you just ate a decent diet and cleaned your teeth, you wouldn't have decay. So because of those two things, my personal opinion is why would we fluoridate the entire country and have everyone in the United States of America have this put in our water when this isn't a life or death situation?
Sure.
And it's 100% preventable.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
all you have to do is brush your teeth.
Yeah.
And
Well,
eat a
my
piece of
personal-
Well, and that's the problem that I have with government. That's kind of why I'm.
Well, that's why I said initially, Pete, when you say public health, when you go into public health,
Yeah, they gotta do
it's
it for the majority.
the group,
Yeah.
and the individual many
It's a
times
hard
gets left off to the side.
We talked about jarts too. Like you can make a choice not to give your little kid jarts so they injure themselves, or
Dull the tips so they can't injure themselves significantly.
right. But that's what I'm saying. But they legislate.
Edit that from this show.
But you have to legislate everything, and that's the problem.
And-
All right, so I
and
got.
what are we legislating it for?
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah. I want to ask Rick, when you go into a store to buy toothpaste. Do you look for the fluoride toothpaste? Or,
You can't really get away from it.
Colgate has every kind of, thing labeled. What do you do? How do you do it?
Just most toothpaste, and correct me if I'm wrong, have fluoride in them.
Yes, it's
They
very few that don't.
Yeah,
I think it's Tom's fluoride from Maine.
Yeah.
Not Tom's fluoride, but Tom's toothpaste.
Tom's toothpaste.
There are
is
these holistic groups out there that are saying, look, I don't want these chemicals, these elements in my stuff. Why do I need it?
Yeah.
I have clean teeth. I take care of my teeth. I have a good diet. Why are you forcing these products on me? And the government is paying for a lot of dental health. And the government is saying to themselves, how do we save money? Well, let's put this in the water. That's going to reduce the amount of people that have cavities, which means we don't have to pay out as much.
Okay.
And in my opinion, I'm saying to myself, one, I don't necessarily even agree that the government's paying for dental care, but that's a different discussion. And two, why should Rick, Bob, and Pete, and Kevin, and anyone else be subjected to this? And I guess the answer is for the good of the group.
For the greater good.
For the greater good.
If that's actually true. What I look at is and say to myself, is dental disease getting better? Are these young kids better? Or is their dental health better?
Well,
and you can look at almost anything. Is the homeless better or worse?
Yeah.
Are the people starving? Is it better or worse?
Well, how about
I'm
this?
thinking to myself, the data doesn't seem to support that any of these programs that have wonderful intentions, fantastic intentions, is it working? Can't someone just look at the data and say, is homelessness going up or down? Is dental decay going up or down?
And what is it? Is it going up or down?
No, it's getting worse.
It's getting worse.
In my eyes.
All right.
It's
So
definitely getting worse.
how about this? We banned lollipops.
I think it's
Or
ultimately, I find there's
candies that you suck.
two classes of individuals. One, and I'll just use you as an example, we're going to ban it. And the other, I'll just use Pete as an example so I don't offend anybody. Okay? Pete would say, look, it's a free choice. You want to suck on a lollipop all day long, suck on it, but the consequences should be yours, not mine. In other words, I don't understand why I'd be paying for your dental care because you've elected to suck on a lollipop 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
It's a free country. You want to do it, suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
And not everyone agrees with that, but those are like the two camps. Those are the two schools of thought, and I'm not here to say one's right or the other, but if you just broke it down simplistically, you have a huge group of people that say, in order to protect little Mary and little Johnny, we're going to incorporate this element into everybody's water.
Right.
And there's the other group saying, look, all little Mary and Johnny have to do is brush their teeth and stop eating junk.
Well, okay. So if we were talking about educating people around fear earlier, and what to do, and what Rick and I were talking about was the idea of informing them about the dangers or whatever. So the American Dental Association, perhaps, and or the candy, Werther's candy or whatever the candy makers. What's Mars? What's it? M&M.
Hershey's. Mars.
Maybe there is a some kind of public service thing that says, look, you want eat candy responsibly, like drinking beer responsibly. I don't know, or
but there goes that government overreach again, of dictating, but dictating to people's common sense or their lack of.
The key is let's just say we do that.
Yeah,
I would just say, look, you want to do it, let's do it, and now let's look at the data. In 5 years, if people are eating more Mars and Hershey chocolate bars, you clearly can see that it's not working, but that group would say, well, we need to spend more money to educate people better instead of being honest and say, the policy's not working. Ultimately, after 41 years of dealing with the public, 41 years of being self-employed,
Right.
having multiple businesses, Ascent Dental Care being one of them. Okay.
And Ascent Laser Aesthetic.
Right.
AE Aesthetics.
.com.
People do things out of a motivation.
Yeah.
And I've come to the conclusion that the three major motivators
Yes.
are fear.
Right.
You are not going to eat 2 bags of chocolates or lollipops. That fear of having dental pain and suffering the aesthetic consequences may prevent you because you just had the worst toothache in your life.
Yeah.
Most people don't want to go through that again.
Yeah.
So fear is a motivator to stop people and prevent people from perhaps doing something that's going
Well,
to create
then
harm.
here I got it. It's a commercial, sort of like those dogs
Right, here we
that
go.
we have Melissa Etheridge, and we have all these young kids whose teeth have rotted away or something, smiling, or an adult who has bad teeth. and
Bob, they did it with smoking.
Yeah, well, if we did it with smoking, could we do
But
that?
what
with,
has happened? We've replaced, quote, a cigarette with marijuana and vaping.
Which is the same thing.
So in the end,
Probably even worse, Peter.
I think if you just look at that motivation with Melissa Etheridge, what you're really saying is fear, or what I call aesthetics,
Emotion.
Or emotion. But it's fear, it's money, and it's
Motivator number 2.
In other words, if you brought your son or daughter to my office and it cost you a few $100s, chances are when you go to the grocery store, you're not buying Mars and Hershey's.
Yeah.
But at this point, that's not happening.
Yeah.
They're not paying for that treatment.
Yeah.
Taxpayers are paying for that treatment.
Sure.
And that, quote, big motivator, which is finance, fears, or I usually
Peer
say
pressure is the other
sex,
one, right?
But, well, it's appearance. People are sometimes...
What's the third one?
I call it sex, but it's really appearance.
Appearance.
Why do people spend hundreds of dollars whitening their teeth?
So if
Why
you're
do
British,
they-
British, the third one doesn't
Right.
apply at all.
Right. You most people, subconsciously or consciously, would like to look better. And the answer is why do you want to look better? And you want to look better because you feel better, and many times you want to appeal to the same sex or the opposite sex.
Yeah.
There's a sexual undertone. There's a motivation.
Right.
And I see this every day. If there's a divorce, the next thing I see is somebody's losing weight, they're exercising, they're getting their teeth fixed because they realize that
They got to get out there in the
out
real
in the public
market.
again.
They got to get out there to the clubs and
So
stuff.
getting back to the point of motivating,
Yeah.
I believe at this point in our country, we've just decided let's spend money and let's inoculate the entire world and country for the overall good.
Yeah.
And you've just seen this with COVID. In other words, no data that I'm aware of anywhere, even now post-COVID,
Right.
says that there was an advantage to inoculate children.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay? But for the, quote, good,
The greater
we
good.
inoculated everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm saying to myself, you could argue that the data would certainly support that didn't make sense. But if we had another outbreak of another something or other
Right.
in 2 years, we'd probably do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Follow the money.
Here's a question for you, Doc, then.
Here's the answer.
Oh, yeah.
It may not be right, but I will come up with an answer.
All right. We've talked about my aging teeth.
Yes.
Remember my aging teeth?
Oh, yes.
When it's a smile and you can look at my aging teeth. Here, look
Yes,
over
right
at
on
me.
camera.
Hey, Bob, have you
It's
let
superb.
them look into your teeth yet?
Absolutely. I've
Yeah.
looked at him every month for the last 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah, not
All right.
professionally though.
No, not
No,
professional.
no. Although sometimes I say maybe I ought to call the doc because I get scared.
You're frightened.
I'm frightened.
You're frightened.
I'm frightened.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
A lot of people are.
Okay.
Well,
but
you could do that today, Bob. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
right here on TV.
Well, because
an
today
exam.
is Call Your Doctor Day.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. Isn't that something?
Oh, my God. Get me that phone.
Yeah. This could push me into early retirement.
You got to go back to the office to sit there for all the phone calls that are going to come in.
It's going to push you into retirement or to go jump off the bridge.
Well, there's two choices.
All right. Okay. So my aging teeth, my doctor has now prescribed because first we talked, I think the last time you were here, about the medication I was taking that was making my mouth dry, which was causing cavities in my mouth.
Correct.
And as part of the prescriptive, what's the
prescription?
The prescriptive behavior that he wants me to do, I have now bought from him an over fluoride toothpaste.
Instead of going to the pharmacy, your dentist actually sells it right in.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of
Prevident.
Prevident, yeah.
Prevident 5000, and it's a source of income to the dental profession.
Yeah. Oh, there we are.
It's a source of convenience rather than you going through Amazon or going through when your dentist prescribed it and sold it to you.
Right.
It's almost a guarantee that you're walking out. I probably am wrong on these statistics, but if you really looked at the statistics, you'd find out that about 60 to 70% of the prescriptions, they're never filled.
Yes.
Okay. All day long, I'm writing out prescriptions, making Walgreens and CVS very rich companies. That takes time. It takes expertise. There's no compensation in the medical profession for doing that. Think of it. Think of how many times, and the public doesn't think of that because they're not in the field.
Yeah.
But I'll probably do 50 prescriptions today.
Yes.
The software for that, the computer for that, the time, the expertise for that.
Yeah.
And where's the compensation?
Yeah.
There's zero.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, does it look like CVS and Walgreens? Rite Aid are starving. Okay, I mean it's almost comical.
And they're not. So if you write a prescription, the Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid gets money, even if they don't. If somebody doesn't go in to pick it up,
they don't get money unless someone actually picks it up. But it costs me money, time, and expertise, and every other physician, dentist. The point is that the prescriptions. I mean, just think we call an attorney today.
You're right.
And ask them to write us a note to, let's
my
just say,
God,
the disability.
Yeah. Well, that's $150.
Do they do that for free?
No.
No, they're compensated.
And it's probably 15 minutes because they do it in quarters.
They charge 2 hours.
Right.
It's a 2-hour letter?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a minimum of 2 hours for that.
I'm writing it longhand. It's going to take 4 hours.
Already done. All they're basically doing is checking a box.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not here to badmouth the legal profession. I'm just simply saying if the public actually thought about it for a second, the more the government has gotten involved, would you say our healthcare system is better or worse? So for the people listening to this show, just call their physician today and see if they can get a same-day appointment.
Well, it's Call Your Doctor Day.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Call Your Doctor.
So you can call them, but try getting an appointment.
All right. So back to my old
Not gonna
teeth.
happen.
Sorry, we're booking for December of 2024.
Okay, so
Oh my
so why is that happening? And the reason it's happening is no one in their right mind is going into the field where the government and the insurance companies tell you what to do and what to charge.
Right.
Just think of the absolute stupidity of this. So we've got a radio show here.
Yeah.
We do?
Yeah, and let's just simply say to you that everybody who advertises and donates, you're only allowed to give $5. How long are you going to stay in business?
You're not.
Right.
How long are you going to stay in business? But hey, I want to give you 100, but I can't. See, I can only give you 5. And you'd be saying to yourself, that's not right. If Kevin wants to give $100, why can't I take it?
Right.
And I go, well, welcome to the world of healthcare.
Right.
Wild. Awful.
And that's a good analogy too.
What you look at is you say to yourself, I could care less whether you agree or disagree. It's none of my business.
Right.
What I look at is if healthcare is getting better, service, quality, results are improving, then I say, we're going in the right direction.
Sure.
But the data is not supporting that.
Yeah.
Our country is getting unhealthier by the day.
I'm going to myself, but what happens is we politicize it and we say that this group is right, that group is right. And I'm going, I could care less what group is right. What's the data support?
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, whoever creates the data can skew that data. So there'll be dentists out there saying, because there's fluoride in the water, there's less children having cavities. And I'll go, that may be true in Springfield, but what about in Westfield?
Oh, it's true.
Where the data isn't
if
right.
you looked at the data in just one community, you could skew the results by simply.
Always.
But why don't we just try to be honest
Yeah.
and say we're not interested in saying who's right or who's wrong.
Yeah.
What we want to do is what's best, what's working, what's the most cost effective to give us the best results.
Yeah.
And you say to yourself, for whatever reason, and in my opinion, it's political, it's power. No one wants to admit they're wrong. Everybody wants to admit they're right.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes the population suffers because of
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I got this fluoride toothpaste, Doc.
Yes,
back to
that
my
you paid
aching,
for it,
That I
dental
paid for.
office.
Okay, if I use that like a regular toothpaste,
yes,
is that putting my teeth at danger? I'm only supposed to use it once
well,
a day
Bob,
or twice
you're
a
going to
day.
require a significant consultation in my private office to get
When
an
can you see
accurate
me?
diagnosis.
So when can you
And
see
I
me?
am offering this morning.
Oh.
Okay. I'll take you right after
You get the
show.
prefer-
But
you get the
answer-
preferred treatment.
Right. To answer the
Cha-ching.
question, are these topical? And keep in mind, Bob is having a topical fluoride. And the reason you want to go topical fluoride is his teeth are already developed and fully erupted. So there's
I have erupted teeth
yes,
everywhere.
there's no reason to ingest a product because your teeth are already developed.
They're there.
So the concept of the ingestible or systemic fluoride is as that tooth is developing in your jawbone, the fluoride gets incorporated into the tooth, and without sounding too scientific, it changes the hydroxy appetite to floral appetite, which is about 60 to 80% stronger, and it makes the tooth more resistant. Right now, the tooth is now fully erupted. It's in full form. There's no more growth to that tooth.
Right.
The topical fluoride is working on the surface to try to make it repel the acids and the bacteria that create the acid, and that's a topical fluoride.
It's a replenishment.
And that's why it says I can't spit it out. I'm supposed to let it sit there.
Yes.
And my problem is, I then want to, I'm leaving for the day, but I want to, so I take a breath, what do you call it, a mouthwash, and then I'm going, wait a minute, I should have done the mouthwash first.
Right. You've rinsed out the fluoride. And usually they'll tell you to have nothing to eat or drink for 20 or 30 minutes.
Right.
So let's just say I just used that Prevident, which is that prescription, a common prescription.
Right.
And now I'm having coffee. I'm washing away the effect of that product.
So when the heck am I going to use this
I
toothpaste?
usually suggest in my office, in the real world, why don't you do it the last thing before you go to bed? You've brushed your teeth. You know you're going to bed.
Right.
You're not going to have anything to eat or drink,
Right.
other than perhaps a water. And you
Oh,
put
but
the
wait a
fluoride.
minute, Doc. But Doc,
What?
that I'm also prescribed this
Diuretic?
diuretic. No. It's something. It's to create saliva in my mouth for dry mouth.
Okay.
And and that says you have to wait. And then do I add the chloride? I mean the
So for our listeners,
Don't add chloride to it, please.
Oh no!
For our listeners, you're realizing every medication has a plus, but it also has a negative.
Yeah.
And what you're realizing is one tells you have to drink, one you don't drink.
Yeah.
And I can just tell you in my own office, the average adult that I treat is on at least 6 different medications.
Right.
And those medications have a plus, but then they have a negative. And then when you're adding them all together, you're saying to yourself, "What in God's name are we doing?"
Holy
Yeah.
mother!
You ever listen? You ever listen to those TV commercials?
Yes.
And it's a 30-second TV commercial about the drug itself is about 10 seconds.
Right.
And then they've got about 20 seconds of side effects.
Yeah, and one of the side effects most of the time is it could cause death.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm willing to risk death, am I really worried about a dry mouth?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But
they put that in there.
Yeah.
One of the newest ones I've been hearing is if you're allergic to such and such, don't use it.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what I was trying to say earlier, is that the common sense or their lack of. Here's the thing is like, the overuse of candies or sugars or let's say soda.
We've got to write on it no more than 10 packs of cigarettes a day. It could be hazardous to your health.
Right.
And I'm going, you need to write that in there. Isn't that sort of common sense?
But here's the thing is like soda.
Yeah.
A glass or two of soda a day isn't bad. Should you be drinking 2 liters of soda a day? Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
Well, if you want to help me,
2 to 4. Say 2 liters a bottle a day. There's people I know that do.
There's a club that says, "Let's help our local dentist."
Yes.
We all
I
get
donate
together.
to that club. If I'm donating to Westfield, the least you can do is donate to
That's exactly
poor
right.
dental health.
I'm going to have once a day. We'll meet. We'll eat everything that's wrong, and then we won't brush our teeth for a day and a half.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yes.
All right. Hey, today is, believe it or not, I saw this. Kitchen Klutzes of America.
Oh, yes.
Are you a klutz in the kitchen?
Absolutely not. I'm
You're
really
very good. You're not a klutz.
I'm very, very comfortable in the kitchen eating. Okay. As far as anything else, I'd probably say very inexperienced.
The man to your right is not a klutz in the kitchen, which you wouldn't call yourself a klutz.
Oh, no.
Nor is
An
Peter
accomplished
Coles
chef?
in the center.
I just ran my smoker the other day. I smoked a pork belly and it came out really good.
Ooh, we smoked a pork belly.
Well,
I wanna try to make bacon one of these
the
days.
pork belly.
I have.
Okay?
I smoked a doobie the other day.
You smoked a doobie, yes, there you go.
That's a
man.
personal problem.
No, you both felt good.
Oh, we all felt.
And that leads to the
No, I
browning
did
of
not smoke a
that.
doobie the
That
other
leads to
day.
the browning of your teeth, Bob.
That's exactly right. No. So, okay. So for the Kitchen Klutzes of America, there's a great song called by Leonard Bernstein, who just happens to be LGBTQIA+. Leonard Bernstein wrote a wonderful song called "I Can Cook Too." And it's a double entendre song in its own way. Do you know what a double entendre song is?
Yes, it's twice as important as a single.
So you can listen to
Am I
the song
correct on
in
that?
Right.
Yes, okay.
Listen to this song in two ways.
Well, Jeffrey Dahmer, could cook 2 or 3, 4 or 5.
The two people shouldn't be in the same conversation.
This is this great
Let's get to the song.
Great singer, comedian Leah Delaria singing from wonderful town, Leonard Bernstein's "I Can Cook Too."
Cook too, on top of the rest, my seafood's the best in the town. Yeah, I can cook too, my fish can't be beat, my sugar's the sweetest around. I'm a man's ideal of a perfect meal, right down to the daily task. I'm a pot of joy for a hungry bug, baby. I'm cooking with gas, I want my gumdrop, a sweet lollipop, a brook trout right out of the brook. And what more, baby, I can cook. Some girls make magazine covers. Some girls keep house on a dime. Some girls make wonderful lovers. But what a lucky fine dime. I make a magazine cover. I do keep house on a dime. I make a wonderful lover. I should be paid overtime, cause I can bake too. On top of the lot, my oven's the hottest you find. Yeah, I can roast too. My chicken just ooze, my gravy will lose your mind. I'm a brand new nut on a travel dog, but just try me a la carte. With a single course, you can choke a horse. Baby, you won't know where to him with gas. I want a gumdrop, a sweet lollipop, a brook trout right out of a brook. And what more, baby, I can't cook.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
This is Ken Stomsky from Ken's Den on WCPC 15 and 89.5 FM, Tuesdays, 8 to 10.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday, and it is June 13th, 2023, and counting. This is the 164th day of the year, 201 days left.
Wow.
Do you believe that? 201. We're almost, are we almost?
The time flies.
Time flies. And I get older by the day.
But
older.
better.
Though, huh?
But better.
I get better by the day.
Like a fine wine.
I felt I had to say
like a fine wine. He's getting better with age,
despite my fluoride problems.
I figured if I don't suck up to you, you're not going to. And I'm not self-promoting again. It's Ascent Dental Care. Okay.
.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Coughlin, everyone. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure the Board of Dentistry will be taking my license away.
So
who is this guy?
No.
So getting back to the fluoride.
Yeah.
Okay. I do think that for the listeners, many people, particularly in this Westfield area, may have well water. And the health department will come out free of charge and check your water, because people who have well water more than likely will have perhaps an excess of fluoride beyond the safe level.
Oh,
and
my
that
gosh.
fluoride is being, you're ingesting it because you got a well water.
Right.
And many times the public doesn't think of that. But every now and then I'll have a client, a patient, and they'll simply say, "Oh no, I don't want the city water. We
have well water.
We have well water." And I go, "Has it been tested?" And they should consider testing it, because the concentration of fluoride can change.
Yeah.
And if you have children between the ages of 3 months and 16 years of age,
right,
the teeth in their jaw, in their mouth, are still developing. So any ingestible fluoride can have a negative effect if the dosage isn't correct. Usually after 16 years of age, for the vast majority of the population, their teeth are fully formed, and that ingestible fluoride is having no effect on the teeth because the teeth are fully developed. It can still affect the skeletal structure and other tissues in your body, but from a dental and a tooth standpoint, from birth to age 16, you might want to make sure you know what the volume of fluoride you're taking, particularly if you have well water, and your public health.
When I bring, as a parent, I bring a child, what age should I start bringing my child to the dentist? And at what point do you really should have a discussion with your dentist, I would assume, about your kid's teeth, and you look at a child's mouth, are you able to say, you know what, this kid needs fluoride? I mean, like, I can't tell one tooth from another.
You don't look at necessarily the teeth per se, but to answer your first question, usually they're saying around 6 months of age.
6 months?
6 months of age, and that's mostly to educate the parent, not the child.
Oh, okay.
All right, but I've been practicing, like I said, close to 41 years. Originally, it was age 3 was the ideal age to bring the child to the dentist. The Academy of Pediatrics has reduced that to age 6 months. And in my opinion, and almost everything I say on this show is my opinion.
Sure.
I'm not representing the American Dental Association or any other association.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion. And it's really to educate that mom and that dad about diet. Is it well water? Do they have fluoride in the water? Is that fluoride the right dosage? And that dosage is 0.25 from 6 months to age 3. Then it goes to 0.5.
Don't expose your children to Hershey's chocolate.
Or don't expose it to them 5 or 10 times a day.
Yeah.
Like Rick said, I don't think giving a child a chocolate bar once a day is going to be the end of the world. But like so much of what we do, there are these outliers. And some people feel, well, if one candy bar is good, why can't I give 5 or 6?
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it's like anything. I think if you could have one cigarette a day, it's probably not going to bother you either.
Yeah.
I think if you smoke one marijuana cigarette every couple of weeks, that's not going to hurt you. But when you're doing it 5 to 10 times a day, like I see in my office,
right.
I'm going to myself, how could this possibly help you down the road?
Yeah.
I wouldn't care if, you were having 10 sticks of licorice. If you're having it every day, it's going to have a deleterious effect on your health.
Yeah.
And it's
Is that something I should be afraid of, licorice?
Licorice, only if it's the black licorice. Red licorice, personally, I have more than 10
This
a day.
is an interesting phonetic question for you.
Yeah.
Licorice, how do we say? We say licorice, but it's spelled Licorice. How do you say that? I mean, have we been saying it incorrect?
Licorice.
Where in that? Look at that word. Licorice.
Licorice.
There's no SH in that word.
Yeah, but that's how I pronounce it. Licorice.
Well,
because
we all pronounce it that
I
way.
had more.
Yes.
Okay.
You have something against black licorice?
Oh, I hate the taste of it.
What? Oh, I love it.
My father would eat it all day long. He loved it.
You're not a fan of anise?
No, anise.
Oh, I love it.
Sambuca? I love Sambuca.
Oh, man, Sambuca. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man.
Well,
no, here's a question for you, Doc.
Yeah, here's the answer.
It's National Body Piercing Week.
Yes.
Okay. Should
I'm all
I have
for it.
my tongue pierced?
Should you have your tongue pierced?
How about my
don't go there, Bob. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
I'm going to say no automatically.
Yes.
Okay?
All right. No.
For no other reason than I just can't. I get squeamish. But when you pierce your tongue, and we see this, I would say it's every day. You know, it's the barbell piercing in the tongue.
Yeah.
And what it does is it destroys the backs of your upper and lower teeth. You have a metal piercing, and every time you talk or speak, your tongue moves to the back of your teeth. That's how you form the S sounds, the CH sounds, the F sounds, and it
T sound.
Yes, it wears the backs of those teeth away. And I just tell you, here's a photo of the inside of your teeth. If you want to keep the pierce there, it's fine, but understand it's damaging the backs of your teeth.
Could you put that
little barbell further back in your mouth? You could. You'd probably throw up, but you could do that. I mean, the further it goes back, sometimes you defeat the purpose of why you've put it there originally.
I'm not exactly sure, and I
could explain it, but we are on radio.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing is, the further anything goes back on the tongue, the greater the likelihood you'll stimulate a gag reflex, and it'll be very difficult for you. You'll tend to
Okay. How about on the lips?
On the lips, you certainly can do that, and the same thing happens, but it happens to the fronts of the teeth. Because as you're speaking and you form your sounds, your lips purse, and that barbell, that piercing, is hitting the fronts of your lips.
Or even chewing too. Or
yes.
Oh, listen to this.
It's
so okay.
Two products. It's like sandpaper.
Yeah.
One product is going to be harder than the other product, which means one of those things are going to wear.
Okay.
The metal barbell or the tooth.
So I come into you with my metal barbells, my gymnasium of a mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you say to me, do you realize you're going to have a little talk with me about those barbells in my mouth?
And it's very little. I just simply say, I just want you to know there's damage, and that damage will continue. And my advice would be to remove it or not wear it all day. If you just want to wear it for an hour or so each day, probably no harm.
Yeah.
But most of these people leave it in because if they leave it out for any extensive period of time, the piercing hole will close, and then they got to go through the aggravation of punching a hole again. That hole doesn't stay there permanently.
So those holes,
they punch it almost like a paper punch,
right,
to create the hole so that they can attach the
and
body
then the
pierce.
hole shrinks up.
Well, if you removed the body piercing, we're calling it a barbell,
right,
for all intents and purposes.
The body will then put
It'll fill it in, just like women
Your tongue,
pierce
your
their
tongue
ears.
actually
If they-
regenerates itself
Yeah.
into
Yeah, you pierce your ears, you leave the
Wow.
pierced earrings out for a few days to a week, the hole closes.
Yeah. Do you have a pierced ear?
I never had. I thought about it many times.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the thought of putting a hole in my ear, let me tell you something. I'm not the bravest soul. I don't like needles.
That's why you went into
I don't like
dentistry.
needles. I don't like people poking around. Let's just say I'm not a great patient.
Hey,
a good talker.
Doctors don't make the greatest
no, we
patients,
don't.
you know.
No. That's true. Who do you go to for the dentist?
For the
Who's your
dentist, I go to a Dr. Vivinti. Robert was my classmate, and unfortunately, he just retired in February. We've been close friends for 40 years.
How do you like that? Yeah.
And he took care of me when I was in dental school. I took care of him in dental school, and I continued with him in his service, but now he's retired.
Well, he might see you
No,
on the sly.
No, because
is that
now
against the law?
He's lost that practice. You know what I'm saying? He's out of practice. I can't trust him anymore. I'm done with
You're looking for a good dentist.
I'm looking for a good dentist.
I got
have
the man
six-
to your right is
I know
very good.
a good guy.
You know a good guy. Okay. Yes.
It's
Where do you find him?
AscentDental.com.
Where do you find anybody? From, in my personal opinion, we get about 180 new clients every month.
Yeah.
And the vast majority are from word of mouth.
Yeah.
You've had a good experience, and you might tell someone, and they come in. And the rest is people listening to me on this show.
Sure.
That's marketing.
Yeah.
Social media, that's marketing. Billboards.
Right.
Radio, TV.
I see you all over the place. Yeah.
Does it work? Who the heck
yeah,
knows?
who didn't? Yeah.
I'm doing it personally. I think it's good to help the community.
Yeah.
Those dollars are helping, just like.
Well, I'd like to think that your appearances on our show are also educating the public in lots of ways that they don't get to talk. We don't, we've been talking about teeth for 5-6 years now.
And I'm not here
Amazing.
trying to promote
No.
Ascent Dental Care. Okay.
.com.
I'm
spelled ASC.
Yes. Located,
No.
But no, I'm not that.
Hey, guess where I went the other night? The other night we had an event, and after the event we went to 99s.
99.
And it was trivia night at 99s. So we played the trivia game. Have you ever been to 99s and to trivia nights?
I haven't done trivia there.
No, okay. So you have all these tables, and apparently people go. I mean, they're regulars that go in every night.
There's people that play the circuit.
Oh, is that right?
Trivia circuit. Yeah, they'll go every night of the week to some place
do
and play.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they go. They travel to different towns, to different places where
that
trivia
right?
is. Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I thought it might be fun as we wind down here.
Ask some
I'm going to
questions.
ask some of the same question.
Is Pete in this
Oh, he
competition?
can. Oh, yeah, he can be. He can be. All right. In the 1980s, I see. I only have the answer here, so I have to make up the question.
yes.
All right. This is like Jeopardy. All right. In the
No, you got to give us the answer. We'll tell you the question.
Oh, I'm going to do that on a couple of these. I can't figure out what the
Make
question
sure
is.
we say what is.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
who is,
disqualified. What or who?
Okay. In the 1980s, there was a musical group, that made a remake of the Righteous Brothers' "You've Lost That Loving Feeling" and had a big hit with it. Who are they? In the 1980s.
Who is the Bee Gees? Okay, that's it. That's my final answer.
Who is the Bee Gees?
Who is the Bee Gees?
Or is it who are the
Bee Gees?
Well, no, the Bee Gees.
That's a question.
Yeah.
Pete, Can you
In
help
the
us with this?
1980s.
You lost it. That was and it came out from.
I got it right. Believe it or not.
And it came out of because it was because of the movie Top Gun.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Kenny Loggins.
No, I can remember him.
It's a duo because the Righteous Brothers.
Oh, the Doobie Brothers.
No, there are only
I
two
want
of
one
them.
more chance.
Yeah,
Sonny and Cher.
Sonny and Cher. No,
Okay.
you're close.
Who is it?
This this guy right now has a studio in Connecticut where you can go and have a drink or two and listen to music. I think.
Oh, well, that helped.
That helped.
That helps.
Daryl Hall and John Oates.
Oh, that was my next.
No,
I was
you're next.
next.
Yeah,
It's in New York.
Yeah.
It's in Paulding, New York.
What?
Interesting fact about
was
Hall
it-
and Oates. Do you know how they met?
No, on a cruise.
They were at a school dance when there was a shooting at the school dance, and they were actually met out afterwards in the parking lot.
While they were
after the shooting and stuff like that. Yeah, it was
So
kind of an
were they-
interesting.
Were they the entertainers there, or
No,
they were participants?
no, they were just
high schoolers or something.
high schoolers or
wow.
college or something. Yeah, it was
Wow.
kind of an interesting.
All right, here's another question. What's the capital of India? Capital of India. Isn't this awful? We were stumped on this. We got this wrong.
Is it
Can you
begin with a D?
Can you? Not really.
Not really.
Part of it begins with a D.
New India.
Oh, you're close. You got what? You got
Delhi.
New Delhi.
New Delhi.
New Delhi.
Can I have my prize now because it's getting close to 8?
All right. This is. I don't remember what this answer is. It's 100 degrees centigrade. What's the question? That's the answer.
What would it be in Fahrenheit? Is that what you're trying to come up with?
100 degrees centigrade.
Centigrade is the boiling point of
Yeah.
water.
That's it.
Yeah. What is the boiling point of water?
Okay. All right.
Listen, Rick, I took that first. I want you
You're right, you're
tag
correct.
team. Pete, make sure I get credit for that.
Yes.
Okay. Who said I'm
Who
going to
said?
give you an offer I can't refuse?
Who's
You
that?
can't refuse
I'm
it.
going to make you an offer.
Godfather.
I'm going to make you an offer you
you
can't refuse.
Who said
That was
character.
Corleone.
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 Could
Don
you be more?
Corleone.
Could you be more?
The Godfather.
What's his name?
The Godfather.
No, the
Oh,
Italian.
you want the actor?
Yes.
No,
what's-
no. I want the character's name.
Don Corleone.
No,
That's
it's
what we
it's
said,
the-
and we got it wrong.
It's the son. What's his name?
No, it's not the son. It's the
Sonny Corleone.
No, what's
Oh, Al Pacino.
No. What's Marlon Brando's first name in that movie? They would.
Oh, no,
only
say
accept-
I got this. I got
Who's
this.
Don Corleone? What's his real name? I said Don Corleone, and the guy said no, and I said his name isn't Donald. Don is a title, and he said no. This software that he uses says do not accept Don Corleone, accept this other name.
Dominic. Wasn't it? Don? No, it wasn't Don. Was it?
No. End of the alphabet. Walter.
Walter.
No, I made that up.
Oh,
but it's close to Walter. Vito Corleone.
Vito.
Corleone.
We should have known that.
I didn't get that. Apparently, a
should've
lot
known
of
that.
people got that on this.
Vito Corleone.
Yeah. Who's the first woman to fly the Atlantic?
What's her name? She died.
Oh, come on.
It wasn't
She
Amelia.
died.
It wasn't Amelia Earhart.
That's who I was.
Was it Amelia Earhart?
Yes,
I think it was.
Amelia Earhart.
It was a million Earhart. Okay.
A million? No,
A
a
million.
million.
A million Earhart.
Never found her body, right?
No,
That was in the
No,
Pacific.
They
no.
never-
They supposedly found the parts of the plane.
Plane, right?
Yeah.
supposedly.
Yeah. Okay. Who is a rapper who is also a designer, an interior designer, and has a program on? Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't get Vanilla Ice?
Kenny
Yeah.
is there, and
Yeah.
he gave you the
Vanilla Ice. Yeah, I knew
Vanilla-
that though.
Did you
yeah,
know that?
I watched that. Yeah.
I thought he restored homes. I didn't know
That's
he was a designer.
Yeah.
Oh
He
no!
was-
Well, yeah.
Oh, he's at home. Yeah, that's. I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
please be
didn't.
more specific.
I don't think I would. I don't
or
think
we're
I
not
would
gonna
consider
play
him
the
a
game.
rapper, but
Yeah.
that's
All right. Here's the answer. You tell me what the question is. Oral. As a doctor, you might. I don't know what the answer to this.
What did you say?
Oral.
Oral. Like
O-R-A-L.
Dentist,
Roberts.
You mean mouth?
Oral Roberts?
Cavity?
No.
Like a person's name?
Oral. I don't know what the question was. That's what I'm having trouble. Oral.
What was
Oral
Reverend
Roberts?
what was Reverend Roberts' first name?
Maybe that's it, but I don't remember that. I think it had something to more. There was something I don't know. Well, okay. What is the under the? What's the next layer after dirt? Under what do we call that layer of the earth?
Crust? Mantle?
Oh my God, he's brilliant. Mantle.
Wait a minute, I didn't hear that last thing. What did you say?
Brilliant.
Pete, wait a second.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
I think I should stop there because I can only go downhill. Next question, what's my name? Oh, geez, I don't know.
Next question.
But
All
the
right.
mantle, I know.
Next question.
Next question. Jerry Rice.
Oh, football player for
The San
That's the
Francisco
question.
49ers.
No.
Francisco 49ers, right?
No, yeah, but there's an answer. There's another answer. Who was
The most successful receiver in football history.
Listen to him. That's exactly right. The wide receiver.
But you didn't say brilliant. If you could just say that one more time, perhaps my wife and kids will be listening.
Pete, don't you have that? Don't you have that bump there? Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Stimpy.
All right, now.
I just need directions to my office.
Okay.
All right. So maybe I'm not that brilliant.
Okay. The state flower of Connecticut. The state flower of Connecticut.
I know. The Massachusetts one is
what?
Is the Mayflower.
Okay, that's easy. But so what's
Connecticut.
the state flower? Yeah.
It's not the sunflower.
Used to be there was a wonderful restaurant across the border in Enfield, Connecticut, I think. No longer there. It was huge during my growing up period. Kevin, it might have even been there when you were there, and it was named after this flower. The blank. And they're probably growing in your yard right now.
Dandelion?
No. Dandelion.
Unfortunately, that's true, yeah.
Two words.
Buttercup?
No. What's the opposite of a valley?
Lilies of the Valley?
No.
The
Opposite
mountain,
of
mountain laurel? The mountain laurel?
Mountain laurel is the exact answer.
You want to know something?
Yeah.
The mountain laurel
Yeah.
was it was in I believe Enfield, Connecticut, right?
Yes,
Restaurant.
That's
Mountain
restaurant.
Laurel.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
I do remember
that restaurant.
Yeah, I don't think I ever went there, but I remember hearing it was sort of a
it was a
high-class,
special class,
expensive-
very high class. You went there once a
Yeah.
lifetime.
And in Massachusetts, the mountain laurel is a protected species.
That's exactly right. Down in Connecticut, it grows like
you can't
weeds.
pick it. You can't chop it down.
Well, they're apparently they're doing it. No, maybe they're not.
In Massachusetts, you can't. But
There's one in my yard. It seems to be dying a natural death. I'm not sure. Hey, look at everyone. It's 8:00. We've talked through two fluoride and
Mount
everything.
Laurels, covered it all.
If anybody
Piercings.
is interested, Dr. Kevin Coughlin is at Ascent Dental.
Well, thank you very much for that plug. And as
we-
always,
and Ascent Laser Aesthetics.
Yeah.
thank you.
.com.
Yeah. Hey, Peter, let's play the. Did you get the short one from Goldfinger that I got? I sent you in a separate. Okay. This one is called Into Miami. Today is Indictment Day, so I thought I'd play into Miami.
It's a liberal holiday, Bob.
It's a liberal holiday. Play that song. Get out.